Hey guys, Catherine here. So today we're going to try making a paper flower. I have in the past seen people make flowers before. Goodness, I cannot speak today. And I honestly don't remember how they did it exactly, but I have this idea in my head how it should work, so we're gonna try it and we'll see what we end up with. I've got this bit of scrapbooking paper that I really like the pattern of, and I think it would make an excellent flower. And then I've got this bit of scrap paper because the idea that I have is gonna want like a pattern. I'm also trying out this new background. Let me know if you like it. I have this idea that it's too busy, but we'll see what you guys think. So the idea is I'm gonna make a pattern out of this paper. I'll just fold it in half and then fold that half in half again. There we go. And then fold that in, I think, thirds this way so that it ends up in thirds away from the corner, the center that we created by folding it in half and then in half again. So that hopefully when it's finished and folded into thirds, if I can force it into thirds, there we go, in thirds, we can end up going sort of like, here we go, let's try like this and just cutting a curve from one creased side to the other. Maybe make that curve a little bit steeper. We'll see how it goes. And then put that aside for use in something else. And then unfold it. See, and that has way more petals than I ended up intending it to have. That's all right. I have an idea. We'll fold it back up. We'll fold it in half. We'll fold it back in thirds again. And we'll cut it shorter. It'll be fine. Okay. So back in thirds. And then what we're going to do to see if we can't correct that is cut one side down and one side up and see what that ends up with. So we've got a curve that goes up like that, like half of that previous curve that we did. That should hopefully solve the problem. If it doesn't, back to the drawing board. All right, let's see what we get. Aha, there we go. That's what I want. So this has got 6 petals. I'm going to end up with fewer than that though. So if I trim one of these petals away, that will give me the pattern that I want. And I'll just set that aside for later. And then I will take and trace it onto the back of this scrapbook paper, because it doesn't matter which direction, or it doesn't matter where the pattern's at, so long as it is on there. And then I'll just trace this directly on here with, I'm going to be using a green colored pencil. It doesn't have to be green colored pencil, but if you want to stay true to the original, use green colored pencil. There we go. Just keep tracing it around all 5 petals and try not to move it around before you're done tracing it, like I just did. But if you do, just put it back in place, whatever. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're going to just cut it out. And if this doesn't work, oh well. All right. So the idea is they're all the same, all the petals are the same shape and the same size because we folded it. And now we've got a template that we can make more out of if we want to, but we don't have to. And if it turns out all right, we'll see what we end up with. Go, come on you. I could have also cut out half of that petal, and it would leave me with an extra petal on here, but I decided to cut out a full one because at least for this today, it's easier. And we're just trying it out like a proof of concept, you know? If it works, then we can mess around with it. Like if you're trying a recipe for the first time, you follow the recipe the first time, and then you start messing with it. Okay, so now we've got this 5-petaled V-shaped looking flower thing. And we're going to take and put glue on one of the 2 petals that doesn't have a petal next to it. And then overlap that with the next one over, so that we end up with a kind of cup-shaped flower in the center. There we go. Okay, so that, I could stop right there. That would be a good flower. I think I want to do more. Not more flowers, but more, how do I describe it? More petals on it. There we go, that's the word. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab back over my scrap paper, and it's got a flower cut right out of the center, because of course it does, and just take and trace one of these petals on there, and then put a dot right at the center, so that I can make a U shape. And that'll be the template for the next petals that we make. So I'm going to cut that out. Oh, trim that off. Those tiny little bits never end up being useful for anything. Cut out the U shape. Oh, that didn't end up curving, that ended up a straight line. There we go, that's okay. And then I'll make one that's a little bit larger. So I'll just use this and kind of trace around the outside of it so that I've got one that's a little bit larger. There we go, and we'll set that aside and cut it out in a moment if we need it. Okay, so take and trace this petal onto the paper. And then cut it out. Let's turn this flower over. You can see the inside maybe. Who knows? It'll be what it'll be. There we go. And then cut out that from our patterned paper. There we go. And then, so we've got this U-shaped bit cut out from our patterned paper, and then we're going to take and cut a slit just right down the center, right up until the point where it starts curving. So we've got a slit cut in the center. Now we're going to take and put some glue on one of those sides. There we go. And then fold it over so that the bottom is square, and we've got this curve looking thing. So that it curves. So that it petals outward. See the, there, can you see the curve? Alright, and then we will put glue at the base of this petal and glue it onto here at one of the points where the petals on this come in downward. And you can see it's starting to come together, and I think this is going to work. So what I need to do is make a bunch more of these, 4 or 6 more of these and then glue them on here, and then do some of the larger ones too and glue them on further down. Then I can do like a fringe or get like a yellow pom-pom maybe and just drop it right in the center and glue it on down in there. But you guys see where I'm going with this. So check out the thumbnail if you want to see the finished version, because I'm not going to make you sit through me cutting and gluing all of these individual petals on. And I will see you all later. Bye!